What is going on, ladies and gents? Welcome to Collectors Gone Digital. My name's Josh, and on today's episode, we're discussing some fun VeVe facts associated with the platform and our collectibles. Now, I woke up to some news today, and reading off of LinkedIn, I quote, "With a massive 1,239% growth, the 2023 Deloitte Fast 50 winner is VeVe Digital." So that is fantastic news, guys. Deloitte is a well-respected company, nearly 14 million followers on LinkedIn alone. So that's just amazing. Big congrats to the team and VeVe. But with respect to today's video, we are talking about 15 different facts. So without further ado, let's kick it off with the first one. All right, so first up, we got the New Zealand stamps here. And up until not that long ago, we only had USPS on the platform. So it was really cool to see these introduced. So when they first dropped on VeVe, David actually tweeted out this fact saying that at the time of issue, New Zealand actually used British currency. So the original face value of the stamps ranged from half a penny to 2 shillings. Next up, we got Miguel from Disney's Coca movie, which played a large tribute to Mexico's Day of the Dead tradition. But a really cool thing to note about this piece, if you didn't know, is that Miguel actually plays all the right notes as he does in the film. So when he plays his animation and the song starts playing, all of his fingers on the strings of the guitar are correct moves to play the actual song. So that's some amazing detail right there. And with respect to, recent animations on the platform, I think the team's been, smashing it. The team in charge of creating the animations, because if it's a new studio or if it's new designers within the studio they've already been working with, whoever it is, they're choosing the right people. Moving on, we're going to talk about Namour. So Namour actually makes his first appearance, guys, all the way back in Marvel Comics #1. So Marvel Comics #1 is going to be the first comic ever dropped by Marvel. This was all the way back in 1939. So Namour is old. Moving on, we're talking about Zinogre and Pikachu. So with respect to the Monster Hunter franchise, Zinogre is going to be one of the most popular monsters in the game. I've actually never played the game, but based off my research, it sounds like he's actually not that hard to get. But the reason why he's so popular is because he embodies the same electric properties seen in a lot of popular Pokemon. So you got Pokemon like Pikachu. I'm not even going to say the next one because I'm not trying to get ruined in the comment section down below. Pokemon people are crazy. But yeah, this is going to be actually quite a rare piece on the platform. There's only going to be 2 pieces in the set. The secret rare actually isn't even animated. It's only going to be the ultra rare. Ultra rare has 1,500 editions, and the secret rare, I believe, 750, if I'm right. Somewhere around there. Next up, we got Vanellope from, I think it's Wreck-It Ralph. So she was actually inspired by the Japanese super deformed character style, so also known as chibi. And that's going to be Japanese slang for small child. Her hair and facial features were designed to make her look like the younger version of her voice actress, Sarah Silverman. So she's going to be the famous comedian. And next up, we got the VeVe name. So for those who don't know this, VeVe is actually an acronym. So the first part stands for Virtual Experience, and the second part stands for Virtual Enterprise. I can't actually remember who I learned that from. It was somebody on Twitter. I would definitely show you out if I did. Apologies there, but if you didn't know, now you do. So next up, we got the Little Prince. We've talked about this one before, so we're going to breeze through it. But the planets and the stars, except for the one on his fishing rod, actually rotate and spin so that they're always facing the viewer. So I actually learned this when I was filming the showcase video for the collectible. If you haven't seen that one, it's on our site. I highly recommend it. It's one of my favorite ones, actually. But yeah, you're always going to see the same side of the planet. Next up, this one's for the Mint Hunters. Shout out to Mr. Chris Severs. But Mint numbers 3 and 4 I want to talk about. So for those that don't know, the number 3 it's either Mandarin or Cantonese. It means to live or life. So it's seen as a lucky number. The number 4, however, means the opposite. So it's sometimes considered as an unlucky number, particularly in Cantonese, because it's pronounced in the dialect as nearly homophonous to the word death. So it sounds nearly the same as the word death in English. And so for that reason, it's seen as unlucky. Now, I actually learned this back at university because one of the apartment buildings I moved into, it was a pre-construction. And when I went to go choose the unit, I remember seeing a lot of people with Asian backgrounds who were first trying to go for the 3rd floor, which, by the way, there wasn't a 4th floor. Well, there was a 4th floor, but there wasn't a number 4 in the elevator. But if they couldn't get on the 3rd floor, they were actually looking for unit numbers with 3s in them. And the more 3s they could get, the better. So when it comes to Eastern IP on the platform, I think about these two numbers a lot, especially when it comes to Pilly Fantasy. I tend to focus on mint numbers that have 3s in them and avoid ones that have 4s in them. Even if a mint number has a 4 and a 3, just because there's a 4 in there, I'll just avoid it. Pilly Fantasy isn't technically Chinese, but I still want to play it safe. Moving on, we got the Coke truck. It's an appropriate time of the year for that because, well, I'm starting to see it everywhere now. But if you actually tap the trailer of the truck, you can swing it from left to right. And I believe also if you tap the truck, you can turn the lights on and off. Don't quote me on that one. I can't fully remember. I completely forgot to check that before I started recording this. I should have done that, my fault. Maybe I should check that. Check myself before I wreck myself. Oh, I'm still typing the word because the search bar keeps dropping. Oh, you can't. Good thing I checked that. Never mind, correction. You cannot turn off the lights. But you do get Santa blowing you a kiss on one side of the truck. Next up, we got a fun fact about the Hulk. So the Hulk was originally created with gray skin, and his skin color was eventually changed to green, obviously. And this was due to issues that they had with the printer ink. And when I say they, to be honest, guys, I actually don't know entirely who I'm talking about here. I'm assuming it's the comic publishers. But I got this info from David when Hulk #1 dropped, and he used the word they, so. Next up, with respect to the Sesame Street Oscar the Grouch, we have Slimy, the little worm, that pops out of the apple. So this was actually covered by Corey in the original video when it dropped, but not a lot of people apparently saw that, and somebody pointed it out like weeks later. It started popping up all over my feed, so thought I'd add it to the video for anybody else who didn't, or if you're perhaps newer to the community. So moving on, we're going to have a bit of a controversial, geez. That's what happens when you talk fast. We're going to have a bit of a controversial piece on the app, and that's going to be the Rising Sun Back to the Future hoverboard. The Rising Sun symbol isn't exactly, well, let's just say not many people are fond of it over in the APAC region, and it'll be interesting to see exactly what happens or how these pieces are treated in the future when a lot more people from those regions are on the platform. But I would definitely be curious to know what you guys would think about something like this. What are your thoughts? Let me know down below. Moving on, this was a recent one, so I won't spend too much time on it, but it is amazing, I will say that. And VeVe makes an appearance in The Simpsons. Not the logo or anything like that, but as you guys see on screen, we have kind of like a little, not mockery, but imitation of the Homer and Bart Golden Moments. It says $427,000 above it. Somebody said that there's a meaning behind that. I don't know if that's actually true, but if there is, I'd be very curious to know. And I'm just calling this right now. How much you want to bet that when these prices do go up, we're going to have people in the future being like, oh my God, The Simpsons called it. Second to last, we're moving over to the comic side here for AF15, and we recently had Amazing Spider-Man number 700 drop on the platform. It was actually originally submitted as the AF15 cover. What happened though is that Marvel rejected it. So as you can see, they're very similar, different angles, very different colors. But yeah, left was the original, not used. And on the right, we have the actual cover, but it was not the original. And last but not least, we're going to talk about Spider-Man's black spider suit. That was actually a fan submission. So I will try and find the screenshot if I can find it. But I remember looking at the photo and the fan had submitted it. Marvel responded, and then they were just like, yeah, sign this back and we'll give you the creative rights. So that's what happened with that. And then another cool thing about the suit is that it actually eventually becomes Venom. So if you actually compare the two figures on the right hand side there, you'll see a very similar design. Chest, eyes, hands, everything. Ladies and gents, that's going to conclude today's episode. I hope you enjoyed. Those were 15 facts about the VeVe platform and our collectibles. If VeVe's watching this, huge congrats to you guys on the win. Very well deserved. And with respect to next week, I want to do another video on the VeVeverse. So I have a very interesting, at least in my opinion, video topic that I want to put out. It's with respect to combining the VeVe and AR. So if you guys are interested in that, make sure to tune in next week. We got our watch party happening tomorrow. So if you guys want to join and haven't grabbed your ticket, make sure to do so down below. We'll see you there. But if you enjoy the content, make sure to like and subscribe. Comment down below what you want to see in a future episode. As for our next, I'll catch you then.